Caribbean and the rest of the world. You are looking on to the Lisa Talk Show. And set with me is Mr. Joel Harinarain, Festival Director, Trustee, San Fernando Arts Center, as well as Mr. Willard Bash, Treasurer, Committee Member of the San Fernando Art Council. Guys, welcome. How are you this morning?
Thank you. Very good.
Okay, so before we start, I would just like to send condolences on behalf of Gael South Television Network, affiliate of Gael the Caribbean and Gael the Caribbean. With this said, we would like to just take a few minutes in prayer, guys, so just hold on with us and we'll be right back.
Creativity is intelligence having fun. Take that one. Creativity is intelligence having fun.
So, welcome back, guys. So, we are here to discuss the Creative Art Center. What is the San Fernando Art Council? What does that mean?
Well, the San Fernando Arts Council represents a body of performing and creative arts in San Fernando.
Okay. So you guys, the creative art is celebrating, is it 50 years? Am I? 50 years this
51
year?
years, yeah.
51 years this year. So because of what's going on in the world and the lockdown and the, everything that's going on, how are you guys moving forward? Because it seems like nothing is not moving at all. What's going on? Let's chat.
So these are certainly unprecedented times
Yes.
for all of us, and in particular the arts fraternity. The San Fernando Arts Council has produced the brainchild, the Sunfest
Yes.
talent competition, which caters to the secondary and primary school students
Okay.
annually. So last year we were unable to execute the festival because
Yes.
of so many restrictions and school was out last year. So that our flagship event was affected last year tremendously. However, this year we hope to go back to the drawing board and produce something innovative, tap into the online spaces and so on. So
Okay.
generally, this pandemic has propelled us into a position where we have to become innovative and modernize the way we do things.
Yeah. No.
That too was supposed to be celebrated last year, 50th anniversary of Sunfest.
Yes. Yeah.
But because of the pandemic, that had to be postponed.
So nothing is in place for
Yeah.
not yet.
Not yet. We're still
So-
in discussion, so we hope to have something tremendously scaled down. Just a portion of what is usually executed. So But definitely we want to have something this year, even
Yeah.
if it is on a much smaller scale.
Hmm. I think that might be challenging because I know Sandfest is a huge,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
one thing
it's a
people
big thing.
people don't realize about Sandfest. Sandfest is probably the only one of its kind in the Caribbean and
Mm-hmm.
I should say the Western Hemisphere because it encompasses all the arts,
Mm-hmm.
visual arts, creative writing, drama, music and dance
Okay.
in one festival.
Okay. So tell me, how did the Creative Art Center came about?
First,
What is
well,
the history behind the Creative Arts Center?
uh, first you have to start with the Arts Council
Mm-hmm.
because the Arts Council predated the Creative Arts Center. It was probably a vision of the late James Lewer,
Okay.
who wanted to form an organization to represent the arts in South.
Okay.
During his time in England, he was impressed by the work of the British Arts Council.
Okay.
They funded all the arts organizations in England at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to see something like that happening in Trinidad.
Okay. So they started
Yeah,
the.
he and people like Joyce Kirk, Torrance Mohammed, Eugene Joseph, Eric Butler, Trevor Buffett, they were the core people who got together and formed the San Fernando Arts Council.
Okay.
And it began with initially with the existing arts group,
Mm-hmm.
Arawak Dance Group, the Zafa Dance Group, the Writers Association, the Southern Arts Society. They were the core members of the Arts Council in the beginning.
Okay. So Joey, you have anything to say? I'm not hearing you.
I'm here, Lockton. And, Mr. Lash mentioned, some of the founders of the San Fernando Arts Council. And, as you know, it's important to pay tribute
Tributes, yeah, of course.
to our founders and those who would have dedicated their lives. And in the
Mm-hmm.
case of Mr. Mohammed, Terence Mohammed, after his very last he was serving, he was a member of the
Yeah, I
San
know
Fernando
that.
Arts
Yes,
Council
that's been a
executive,
great
still
loss.
serving actively. And, so it's important that we appreciate those who would have went before and put in the human service.
Okay. So what? Let me ask a question here. What is now? I know, but I think for those who hear in creative art and trying to understand it, right? So my question is, what is creative art and performing art, and is there a difference between the both of them? Because where we understand and we know what it is, but for others that is looking on to get some input or information on exactly what is creative arts.
There isn't really a distinction because one
Okay.
leads into the other.
Correct.
The creative arts, the creation comes out of the writers, the
Mm-hmm.
artists, the, the choreographers,
Mm-hmm.
all these people who put
Creatives,
together the ideas to create
the creatives,
a
yeah.
work of performance.
Okay. Okay.
And that is where the performing arts comes in, the dancers, the drummers, musicians, actors, and so on.
Okay. So, what what's what is taking place now? Per se, Joey, with your experience and everything that is going on, and you see, now we have to come to terms that things is not going to be normal for a while. So, with the new normal, I guess, how do you see the Creative Arts Center moving forward, adjusting to what it is going on. But I know you guys say you have to go back to the board and, but in your mind or thoughts, how would you like to see things now at this point in time in this 2021 and moving forward?
Two things. Of course, we without a doubt, we have to be innovative. And
It's definitely yes.
tough times call for tough people, and people of the arts are tough people. Especially in this country where sometimes you're under resourced. So,
Yeah.
for example, currently our building is in where we operate, the Creative Arts Center, and I think, Mr. Bash, we are the only arts organization that owns our where we operate. We own where we operate. So we own
Okay.
the building. We are the only organization in the country, arts organization. But however, in light of so many restrictions, income to the organization has been
Yeah.
tremendously impacted. So we have very little income as it stands to maintain our building, to operate our building, to expand, and to maintain our staff even. So without a doubt, our operations have been
Shut down.
affected
Yeah.
tremendously.
Yeah.
And in moving forward, we are in need of some serious assistance in terms of preserving our facility, maintaining our facility, and repairing our facility. That's on one end. The other end is we have to switch gears and become more innovative, as I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
and adapt to the times that we operate in. So moving forward, a plea, a plea to get some assistance for a building, and of course to encourage our member groups and those who are affiliated with us to adapt to the times.
I remember my first show that I ever did, the Lisa Talk Show. Nice when I was now, trying something, I will say. And Mr. Terrence, I went to him and he said, um, are you in the industry, television industry? I said no. But I I really, really believe that from the grassroots, we struggle to me, we have nothing. And I remember him saying, no, you don't have nothing, you have life. And you have a whole building here, to do your program. And when I did my first show, he was up front in the audience. And every time I discuss a topic, his thumbs will go up like this. So I'm saying in my mind, okay, I'm doing something good. And to the end of the first topic, the first discussion, he will stand up and he will clap. So he was actually the person standing up. And when he stand up after the show finished, try to go and change and come back on, the whole audience stand up and start to clap. And he said, well, for somebody who never did this, well done.
Excellent.
Well done.
That is in true characteristic of Mr. Mohammed. He was always encouraging and very honest and open with his criticisms, for sure. But definitely he can tell you how to make it better and what you're doing right.
Yeah, that it was a great loss. But I haven't, passing there all the time. I'm not seeing, and I really was wondering what's going on because I'm not seeing the place open, the gate is closed, shut down, and I'm seeing no sort of activity. Mr. Bash, do you want to say anything?
You were talking about the Creative Arts Center itself, the building.
Yes.
That too came about as a dream of the late James Lever. He wanted to have a home for the arts where they can have art exhibitions, performances, and so on, and also provide a training venue for young and upcoming artists,
Yeah.
and also too for financially challenged groups to have an affordable place to
To
have
do,
their shows
yes.
and
I know that.
rehearse and so on.
Ash.
Yeah.
So,
I think also credit should be given because he was the main mover behind the acquisition of that building, the late Errol Mahabe.
yeah,
He
I know.
sourced the land and so on for the Arts Council,
Okay.
and he initiated the original building together with the Daffenthaler family.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, National Gas Company, is there a sponsor of the Sandfest itself, or do they help in any way, like financially for the budget, for the Creative Arts Center to be run, or it's just Sandfest?
Right. Well, they have been a platinum sponsor for quite a number of years, and they do make their contributions uh, to the Sunfest Festival. So actually, the festival is NGC
Oh, it's
Sunfest.
NGC fans.
Yes, so
Okay.
they are a premium sponsor, and they've been working with us in developing the festival itself for quite a number of years, improving, and through their assistance, we've been able to expand the festival significantly.
Okay.
And in pre-COVID times, we were
Yeah.
positioning to head to Tobago because the festival for quite some time have not been active in Tobago. So we were working on reintroducing the Sunfest Festival in Tobago. But so that is on the cards probably for 2022.
On
Yeah,
2022 and
yeah,
2021.
Also, if you remember, leading to the input of NGC, if you all could remember the state of that building, the original state, it was just a shell.
yeah.
And the
Okay.
then mayor, Gerard Ferrer, had
Ferrara.
condemned the building
Mm.
and had earmarked it for destruction. And there was that time Gladiator had now started his talk show.
Okay.
And the mayor went on air talking about that horrendous building, so and so. And I went on air and challenged him. I said, well, as first citizen of the South, of the city of San
Yeah.
Fernando, start something, initiate something to it. And that is how this building came about. The city corporation under CEO Marlene Kudre
Okay.
spent $1.2 million to bring the building like that. And when NGC came on board as sponsors of the Junior Festival, they added some renovations and air conditioned the building too.
Okay.
So they have an annual input into the affairs of the council.
Because when you run the Creative Arts Center, you have the kitchen. I think it have a kitchen in it then.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, we
really
do
a
a
bar.
kitchenette, yeah, bar.
A
It's
bar.
really a bar facility.
But it have weddings and all kind of
Yeah,
thing there
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Absolutely.
People, utilize it for that purpose as well. So now, is it that you have to like restructure, or the building stay the same, the foundation, and it just need um taken care of,
Oh,
It needs
painting and
renovation,
absolutely.
additional renovation. The roof needs repair.
so it's almost the whole building need to renovate.
No,
The
just the roof
foundation and
and backstage really.
the roof and ceiling and some aesthetics. But generally, foundation is solid. We would have done our assessment and so on. So I think in priority, the roof and ceiling are the areas that we have to give some attention to. But it's a too costly thing because it's a very large building. So
Yeah, the
it may
building
very
is
well be
huge,
in
what is
excess of
that?
about 200,000 upwards to renovate the entire roof and ceiling there. So
As a matter of fact, when Hazel Crawford was communications officer at NGC, and he was involved in the running of Samfest, he had discussed with me the idea of going up
Okay.
one floor to create archives and a museum and a space for
Okay. So
exhibition,
we'll
art
talk about
exhibition.
that when we get back. We have to go on a break. We'll be right back.
close, must be close. That is brilliant. It carry, it does carry. Ran out of patience. Putting his team in firm control, you can see he's passionate. Carlos Brathwaite! Carlos Brathwaite! Remember the name!
Welcome back, viewers. And again, on set with me is Mr. Bash and Mr. Harry Narayan. Am I pronouncing it?
Close enough.
Close enough.
Harry Nanan.
I like that. So, Mr. Bash, we were talking about the like going up with the extension and those stuff. But the creative art have an extension. It have a VIP something to the top there, like inside.
Something like a foyer.
Oh,
A little balcony and a little meeting room area.
so what happens there? Like meeting and stuff, or is
Meetings
it?
and small dance rehearsal.
Oh, okay.
things like
Oh, okay. So what are the needs or what are the wants of the Creative Arts Center right now?
Basically, right now, the most urgent need is the repairs to the roof and ceiling.
Okay.
That the estimated cost for that is about between $150,000 to $200,000.
100. Okay.
And then the idea of going upwards did not materialize.
Okay.
So we had alternative arrangement to extend the building to the western side,
Okay.
right? And cast a concrete floor so that you would get space for about 3 rehearsal rooms or art exhibition rooms.
Okay.
Underneath would be an area where people just rent tents to provide seating accommodation. That would be available now.
Okay. So how much just by average, how much persons the Creative Arts Center could hold actually if you're having a huge function?
For a show,
Mm-hmm.
it was hold about 320 people comfortably.
Okay, that is plenty space.
Yeah,
For a wedding, with
200
20 tables, it would hold about 200 people
comfortably.
comfortably.
And that include the little part to the balcony upstairs as well. Depends.
That's just in the main area.
Okay.
Okay, those seven. So could hold about 200 persons, banquet style and so on.
All right.
Yeah. So another area of concern is the air conditioning of the building as well. We'd have had some challenges. You know, it's been down for quite some time and does need servicing and repairs consistently. So I think it's a 1986 model air condition that we are currently operating with, and it does take quite an amount of funds to maintain it and so on. So that's definitely an area that we need to upgrade and maintain where necessary. And those are the critical areas. Currently, of course, anybody wishing to make a contribution or work with us, partner with us in any way possible, and they can contact the Creative Arts Center. They can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and of course our numbers are there as well. We also have our website, the San Fernando Arts Council
Yeah.
.com, so they can definitely reach us. Alternatively, you can leave our contacts and you can
Yes, you
definitely reach
can
out
leave
to
your
us.
contacts with us. Mr. Bash, it seems like you want to say something.
No, I just want to endorse what Joey is saying there. That we need whatever help is forthcoming, we would welcome in terms of cash or kind, materials, steel, galvanized sheets, and so on.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
it's really in need of some
Yeah,
serious
absolutely.
repairs.
And just to reiterate, I'm not sure if you would have touched on this earlier, but the San Fernando Arts Council has, in the past 50 years, have really served many the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, and have been a platform for many of the superstars too, ranging from Marshall Mandano and Kes
Yeah.
Nyla Blackman in recent times, and not just performers, but the San Fernando Arts Council have been a platform for many professionals, persons.
Yeah,
Recently, I
yeah.
was speaking with a friend of mine who is now a medical doctor, and she said me about the value she learned through the Sandfest Festival and so on, has remained with her even in her practice and so on. So the San Fernando Arts Council and the work of the council
Yeah.
has really gone a long, long way and impacted thousands and thousands and thousands of lives. So it is an organization, I think, worth investing in,
Yes, yes,
and worth
for sure.
working with, without a doubt.
One of the persons who recently paid tribute to Torrance Muhammad was a gentleman by the name of Godfrey Martin. He was one of the members who kept foot to foot with Torrance Muhammad in the activities of at the Art
Yeah,
Center.
Santa.
And he passed through the center as a member, and he is now an actuary working in England.
Oh,
He was one of the first actuaries in Trinidad. At the time, there was Jerry D'Souza was the only actuary, Trinidadian actuary in
okay.
Trinidad. And Torrance encouraged Godfrey to pursue that because he was an assistant accountant in one of the firms in San Fernando.
Okay. But how are you all coping though with the loss of him? Because that kind of, it hit me really, really hard. How are you guys holding out?
You know, the memory of somebody like Torrance is difficult to erase because he was always there at the art center. That became his second home.
Yeah.
Anytime you go there,
Yeah, so
one person is sure to meet with
Listen.
Torrance, and the last person to leave
Listen.
is Torrance. And he had a lot of influence in a lot of people's lives. Because once he recognized you have a little bit of talent,
And potential, yes.
he would harness that. And if he doesn't draw you into the dance group, he would channel you into the proper organization, whether it is a drama group or a art group or whatever.
Yeah.
True.
It has been difficult. The circumstances, especially in which Mr. Muhammad would have had to, transition. It is even angering. It's a very upsetting thing.
Yeah.
A man would have served his country and San Fernando for decades, and to be to experience such a fate. I mean, it was very upsetting, I must say, at the very least. However, the impact Mr. Mohammed would have had on our lives, I think, would last a lifetime.
Yeah.
I remember one of his favorite quotes. He always repeated it to me: "Luck is opportunity meeting preparedness," and he would always and it was very it came alive. I remember in Carrie Festa 2008.
One of his favorite quotations was always, "The smallest room is a mushroom. And the biggest room is room for improvement."
Yeah.
Always
Say over that
said
again, over here.
Huh?
Say that over again.
The smallest room is a mushroom.
Okay.
The largest room is room for improvement.
Absolutely. And I agree. And an organization it definitely is an organization that has a room
Yeah.
for a lot
It's
of
a
improvement,
long
and
way
we
for us.
we want to improve. We want to improve the facility that we have there, and our facility is home to many organizations. I think over 100 organizations,
Yeah.
arts organization in San Fernando, and that is the importance of refurbishing our building and our space, because this is the home to many organizations who, of course, have many members and many young persons as well, who rely on the arts and so on for personal development and so on. So it is an organization that Mr. Mummy would have worked tirelessly behind and
Yeah.
dedicated his life, and we would
Yeah,
like to see the legacy continue, of course.
Continue.
we have approximately 30 plus member groups and over 200 individual members.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At the Creative Arts
Right?
Center.
Yep,
Okay.
excellent.
So then something definitely have to be done because I mean the building is legacy at
It
its
is, it is,
best.
it is,
And
it
You know.
is.
the thing is, a lot of these groups don't have anywhere to rehearse or even have their meetings, so they resort to the art center.
Yeah.
So is it that the art center is not open at all because of
No,
what's
because of
going on this at this
restrictions, COVID-19 restrictions, we've been closed. We were closed in the first shutdown, and now we're closed again. So, and we rely on our member groups, of course, to pay for their spaces, rentals for
yes,
weddings
and
and
I
other
know that,
functions
and
and so
then
on.
the rent
We
is
rely
reasonable.
on the rentals as our income to maintain our building and for general operations. But in light of these restrictions and lockdown, the building has been closed for quite some time.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
And when it closes or once nothing is in a
yeah,
building
well,
or
where
nothing is
there's
being
where
done
there's
and
no
it
human life, something
yeah,
deteriorates even
just
faster. So that has contributed to some deterioration, because we aren't there to maintain and take care of certain things. We would have had to send home our staff and so on for the time being, because we don't have an income
to
to
pay
maintain.
here.
Yeah. So
We receive a grant from the culture division, but that is neither here nor there. That's just about
negligible.
$50,000 a year.
A year.
Yeah, so that just goes to pay utility bills.
And monthly cost is upward $10,000 a month. Fixed costs, electricity and
Yeah.
telephone, staff, salaries, and so on.
We have made
So
several approaches for them to
So, yeah.
increase it. Not the late, the ex-MP of Community Development, Joan Williams. When she was minister, she had approved a big increase to that
Yeah.
grant.
But not now.
But then they lost the election and that didn't come through.
But it's so sad to, a landmark like that and it have to be played under the political game because I mean this is something that everyone will benefit and did benefit and who continue to benefit.
Absolutely.
And it should not be that way. And
Tradition.
what about the business association in San Fernando? Any assistance to them? Any
They
help?
too, only if you are friends with them.
So it had to be a friend thing for somebody to help.
Like personally, when I do one of my shows, I get sponsorship because a number of the business community are passed through my school where I used to teach.
Okay.
I taught their children, so I was sort of
Get a little something from them. Who know who? So then we gotta make some business friends then.
Absolutely.
In
So
order to get something.
there are those members of the business community who do support us loyally and royally. So so we do appreciate them. However, in recent times, things have been very difficult for everybody. So even businesses are being very calculated in the sponsorship they give.
Yeah, for real.
And it's not every month you can knock on a businessman's door for
He has his
sponsorship.
own, yeah. He
So
have
from
his
time to
will as
time, of
well.
course, the business community they do assist where they can, but the times that we live in, it's very difficult. But nonetheless, every little goes a long way.
That
and
is
and today we'd be happy whether it be a business contribution or individual contribution.
okay.
We'd
Okay.
be most appreciative.
So what about things like stationery and those stuff? You guys looking, you need help in that as well?
Yes, any help will be
Yeah,
appreciated
in
because you need stationery to run the
yeah.
office.
Okay.
Additionally, we have identified that some of our members are
Mm-hmm.
in need of assistance, social assistance, and so on. So what we
Okay.
do, we also have a food drive where
Oh,
we try to collect food items from the public and so on and distribute to some of our members who are in need.
of it.
So because the arts is something that sometimes people rely on the arts
Yeah.
to that is their livelihood. Yeah.
Okay.
So with everything so restricted, a lot of people's lives are impacted who are affiliates of the arts and artists and so on. So some of our members are in need. So there's a plea as well to make any
Mm-hmm.
contribution to the San Fernando Arts Council so we get it to our members.
Okay. Well, I know my the Gael South as well as Gael the Caribbean because I did spoke to Mr. Fabian as well this morning, and we are willing to donate some of the paint together with Benjamin Moore. So we have that covered. So as soon as everything is lifted, we will be there with our, I think, t-shirts and pants and things to start to do some painting and stuff. That was confirmed this morning, right?
Great.
So we will be taking care of that. Well, anything else for who is looking on, guys, please go onto the page as well as the Creative Arts Center. Again, can you give us some of those information for who need to contact you guys to give donation or contribution, whatever it is. Give us some information so they could contact you because I know the Creative Arts Center is closed
Currently.
currently,
So our phones
yes.
are
And
down. So I can give a contact. You can call 717
mhm,
6169.
okay,
That is the San Fernando Arts Council Secretary.
okay.
The number again is 717-6169.
Mhm.
You can give her a call and she'll be able to direct you with
So
regards to any contributions or so on.
right, and anybody with any other information, they could call. Well, call the office.
You can call that
The
number.
same number,
Absolutely.
right? And look on to go onto the website. I really do believe that something happened with Sunfest. Well, I mean, that is actually in what, October?
It usually
October,
starts in,
November.
yeah.
October, November. So we still have some time. God just work
Absolutely.
miracle, It's not,
Yeah.
we don't have control over that. But I just want to say thanks for taking the
Absolutely.
time
Thank you.
and being on set with us, sharing your views and your points. Continue to stay safe
Absolutely.
and be safe, right? And remember, as soon as everything is lifted, Gael the Caribbean and Gael South, we are there to do some painting. So that is on us, right? So thank you
Absolutely.
guys
Appreciate it.
again for the time. Stay safe. God bless.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you very much.
Lisa.